1152 kilohertz, 261 meters medium wave.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock. This is Jonathan Staples. In this bulletin, 3-year-old Jonathan Ball is buried hours after another night of terrorist bloodshed. Labour turns the screw on the government following a backdown on pit closures. And the CBI says the economy is on the mend. Jonathan Ball, the 3-year-old murdered by the IRA in Warrington, will be buried today after yet another night of terrorist bloodshed. Jonathan died instantly in the double explosion 5 days before the second victim, 12-year-old Tim Parry, lost his fight for life in hospital. Gordon Wilson, whose daughter Marie was killed in the Enniskillen Remembrance Day massacre, will attend the funeral. He's now a member of the Irish Senate and has arranged a meeting with the IRA. He's told LBC he wants to appeal to the terrorists from a position of common humanity.
Not as a politician, not as a senator, but really as Mary Wilson's dad to those who themselves killed Mary Wilson, but also because they themselves have suffered their losses. And they are all part of humanity, and it's on those grounds, simply and very sincerely and in trust, that I want to talk to them.
Loyalist gunmen continued their reign of terror in Ulster last night, shooting dead a teenager at a shop in West Belfast. He's the 5th Catholic to be killed in 24 hours. Another youngster was seriously injured. The government's decision to save 12 threatened pits appears to have headed off a potentially damaging Conservative backbench revolt. But the miners have accused the President of the Board of Trade, Michael Heseltine, of deception. They say all 31 collieries originally targeted for closure will close within 2 years. Labour left-winger Dennis Skinner has demanded mass action to defy the government's pit closure deal. He says public opinion forced the government to change its mind last year and that widespread opposition can do the same again. One of the pits to close is at Grimethorpe in South Yorkshire. Local branch secretary of the NUM, Ken Hancock, has told LBC the town is doomed.
Grimethorpe's currently running at 40% male unemployment today, and that's out of 4,000 men. So we would have an unemployment region of 60% in this village, and given there's no other industry within a 5-10 mile radius of Grimethorpe, it's very difficult to see how our village can survive in its present form.
The CBI's latest survey of industrial trends suggests the economy is on the mend. Order books are said to be at their fattest for almost 3 years. And underlining the pickup in business, the CBI has raised its forecast for economic growth. It says the UK economy will grow by 1.4% this year. LBC News Time, 3 minutes past 8. 200 boats are blockading Plymouth Harbour in protest at the import of cheap fish from non-EEC countries. The boats are lined up across the entrance to the harbour and they've already stopped the Roscoff to Plymouth ferry. Reporter Paul Stewart has told LBC the protest looks like continuing for some time.
Oh, they intend to stay here all day and make a point. I think it's really a case of desperation. They feel that their livelihoods are being eroded and that they have to make whatever protest they can.
Police are hunting a bogus health worker who attempted to abduct a 1-year-old boy at Dagenham in Essex. She tried snatching the baby as his mother made a cup of tea, but the boy cried out and his mother managed to grab him back. The woman is thought to be in her early 20s, white, and had a dark spot on her jaw. She was wearing a badge with the word Sarah on it. Detectives are hunting a killer who poisons dogs in a South London park. Up to 10 dogs have died after eating chunks of poisoned tripe in Beckenham Place Park. The latest casualty was a 12-year-old border collie called Wally. His owner, Lorna Percy, has told LBC she's sad and angry.
It's a dreadful thing to happen. It has poisoned this area. Everybody uses this Beckenham Place Park as a retreat for their own stress, illnesses or anything. It's just wonderful. And to think that now people have got to muzzle their dogs, are frightened to come in here, are looking over their shoulder, are suspicious of everybody. It's really, really tainted this whole area and parks around here.
Labour has crashed to its second landslide by-election defeat in 3 weeks in financially troubled Lambeth. Liberal Democrat Sally Prentice last night gained a seat at Vauxhall Bishop's ward with a 37% swing since the 1990 polls. In Westminster, the Conservatives kept the Hyde Park ward in a by-election caused by the resignation of former leader Dame Shirley Porter. In Basildon, Labour has regained a ward in a town where the Tories last year had a monopoly. LBC Financial News now. Trading now underway in the pre-market in London. Here's Rebecca Marston.
In early dealings, the FTSE 100's up 2.9 at 28.55.7. Among leading shares, power shares are higher in the wake of the coal white paper. Powergen up 5 and National Power also up 5 pence. Oils are higher too. BP up 4, Burma up 1, Shell up 3, but Lasmo down a penny. The main company news, HTV announced losses of £2 million after exceptional items of nearly £4 million. Last year, the company made a £441,000 profit. At the building materials group Hepworth, profits have fallen to £45 million from £70 million last time. The clothing company Helen saw profits rise 15% to £3 million. Helen is bidding for Gabici, which made a loss of £476,000 after more than £500,000 profit last time. The all-paper offer values Gabici at 48 pence compared with 41 pence in the market yesterday. And the first results from the bus operators National Express since it joined the stock market showed profits up 70%. On the currency markets, the pound remains above its London close last night. Against the dollar, it stands at 147.5. It's up 2/3 of a pfennig at 2 marks 42 1/3. The dollar against the mark 164.5. That's up 1/4 of a pfennig.
Our sport, LBC's Dominic Allen.
The Newcastle United defender John Beresford has joined the England team at their Buckinghamshire headquarters, where they're preparing for next week's World Cup game in Turkey. He's been called up because there are still doubts over Tony Dorigo's fitness. Beresford will be released by England to play for Newcastle in Sunday's first division game against Birmingham. He'll then fly out to Turkey in his club chairman's private jet. The England manager Graham Taylor's also called up the Sheffield United striker Brian Deane and the Aston Villa defender Earl Barrett. The football transfer deadline yesterday was one of the quietest on record, with barely £1 million changing hands. The anticipated move of Stan Collymore from Southend United to Nottingham Forest didn't take place. The only major move completed was that of F. Anakoko from Bournemouth to Norwich City in a deal which could eventually be worth £750,000 depending on appearances. India have taken a surprise lead over Switzerland in the World Group first-round Davis Cup tie in Calcutta. Leander Paes, who's ranked 202 in the world, beat Jakub Halasic in the opening rubber in straight sets. In the other match, Australia lead the United States 1-0. Wally Masur beat Brad Gilbert in 4 sets. There's flat racing this afternoon at Doncaster. There are national hunt cards at Carlisle, Ludlow and Newbury.
The top stories again. 3-year-old Jonathan Ball will be buried today, just hours after another night of terrorist bloodshed in which an Ulster teenager was gunned down. Labour will today increase the pressure on the government following its climb down on the extent of pit closures. And the latest CBI survey has reported fatter order books, suggesting that a recovery is underway. Still to come in this bulletin, London's weather.
Here is some great news from B&Q. They've introduced a new pricing policy on all their key DIY products. It means low prices that will stay low week in, week out on the items you buy most regularly. Look out for the new yellow stickers. They're on over 500 products throughout the store. Key DIY at B&Q. Prices nailed down to stay down.
LBC's forecast. Here's Philip Eden.
From the LBC weather station, the temperature now 2 degrees, the wind is northerly at 2 miles an hour, and air quality improving again now after a poor hour between 6:30 and 7:30. After the crisp, clear start, it has clouded over in many parts of the London area now. Through the day, it's going to stay dry and reasonably bright. I think the cloud cover will become more broken again during the course of the morning, and there'll be long sunny spells later this morning and this afternoon. A light breeze from the north for much of the day and a top temperature of 11 degrees, so close to the seasonal average. Overnight tonight it'll continue dry and fine, and it'll become frosty during the early hours in suburban and country areas. Philip Eden, LBC Weather.
London Talkback Radio.
Stock Exchange to Spittelmarkt, Aldwych to Alexanderplatz, London City Airport to Berlin Tempelhof, Farringdon.
Only one airline flies you closer to the heart of Berlin. Contiflug.
River bus to Rosenplatz, taxi into Tiergarten, London.
2 scheduled flights every weekday aboard the 146 Whisperjet.
Cab to Fürstendamm, London City Airport to Berlin.
95 minutes city centre to city centre. Call 0293 56 8885 for reservations or book through your travel agent.
Contiflug to Berlin.
With interest rates at their lowest for years, more people are looking to stocks and shares for a high return on their money. With penny shares, shares valued at 50p or below, you can become a shareholder. All the information you need can be found in the Penny Share Guide, available now on a half-price annual subscription for just £25. Remember, you can't buy it in newsagents, so for your free sample copy and information pack on the Penny Share Guide, call 071 625 8656. That's 625 8656.
London Talkback, 11:52 a.m. Call now on 071 603 1152.
It's exactly 10 past 8. A very good morning to you. This is Geoff Clark on the Douglas Cameron Breakfast Call. Let me remind you of the telephone number if should you wish to ring in and have a natter. It's 071 603 1152. Now, miners are accusing the government of destroying Britain's coal industry, even though 12 pits threatened with closure are now to stay open. President of the Board of Trade, Michael Heseltine, says 2 pits will close, another 6 will be mothballed, and 1 will be developed. The 10 mines which have already stopped production will remain shut. British Coal says about 6,000 jobs will go on top of the 8,000 which have already gone through voluntary redundancy. I'm joined on the line now by the President of the Union of Democratic Mine Workers, Neil Greatrix. Neil, good morning to you.
Good morning.
The government say they're spending lots of money reprieving these 12 pits. Are you a happy man today?
I'm certainly not happy. We've been under a cloud since the 13th of October.